What if the fundamental challenges of our hyper-connected digital world were not unforeseen, but rather meticulously analyzed over 2 millennia ago? Imagine a philosopher observing the nascent stages of democratic discourse, articulating concerns that resonate with startling precision in our internet-driven society. This isn't a tale of technological foresight, but a profound philosophical insight into human nature and societal dynamics. The internet, with its boundless information and instantaneous communication, often feels like a uniquely modern phenomenon. Yet its most profound societal impacts, the cacophony of voices, the struggle for truth, the amplification of opinion, were in essence predicted. Not the silicon chips or fiber optics, but the inherent problem of a society where every voice holds sway, irrespective of its wisdom. This ancient seer was Plato, the Athenian philosopher whose observations on governance and human psychology offer a chillingly accurate mirror to our contemporary digital landscape. He feared a world where unbridled expression, divorced from genuine understanding, would not lead to enlightenment, but to a state of pervasive noise, confusion, and ultimately instability. Plato lived in a vibrant yet turbulent Athens, a city-state pioneering one of history's earliest experiments in direct democracy. Here, citizens actively participated in public life, engaging in open debates and exercising their right to speak and vote on matters of state. It was an era of unprecedented intellectual ferment and civic engagement. However, amidst this democratic fervor, Plato observed a troubling pattern. He noted that persuasive rhetoric often triumphed over substantive knowledge, and charismatic appeal frequently overshadowed genuine competence. The clamor of popular opinion, he argued, could easily drown out the quiet voice of truth and reasoned argument. In his seminal work, The Republic, Plato articulated a profound warning. When all opinions are treated as equally valid, regardless of the speaker's understanding or expertise, true wisdom does not ascend. Instead, it risks being submerged beneath a tide of unexamined beliefs and fleeting sentiments, leading society astray. Plato's critique of democracy stemmed not from a disdain for freedom, but from a deep concern for its potential decay, if unmoored from education and virtue. He understood that human beings, by their very nature, do not instinctively gravitate towards arduous truth-seeking. Instead, they are often drawn to immediate gratification and validation. People, he posited, tend to seek comfort, affirmation, and applause, rather than the often uncomfortable rigor of intellectual honesty. This inherent human inclination, when unchecked, could render a democratic society vulnerable to manipulation and irrationality. It's a reflection on the psychological underpinnings of collective decision-making. He famously illustrated this with the allegory of the ship. Imagine a vessel at sea, where the crew, lacking any knowledge of navigation, votes on who should steer. The individual most adept at flattering and manipulating the crew's desires wins control, inevitably leading the ship to disaster. Plato wasn't advocating for censorship, but for freedom tempered by responsibility and informed by genuine knowledge. Fast forward 2 millennia, and we find ourselves in an environment that eerily mirrors Plato's ancient anxieties. The Internet. Social media platforms, in particular, have democratized voice to an unprecedented degree, granting everyone a global megaphone. Yet this digital agora often prioritizes attributes far removed from wisdom. The algorithms that govern our online interactions tend to reward speed, emotional intensity, outrage, and virality. These metrics, while effective at capturing attention, rarely correlate with accuracy, depth, or thoughtful deliberation. The loudest, most provocative voices often rise to prominence first, while nuanced truths struggle to gain traction. Plato feared a world where truth would be buried under an avalanche of noise, where genuine knowledge would become indistinguishable from mere opinion. This isn't to say truth vanishes, but rather that it becomes obscured, lost in the sheer volume and velocity of information. The digital age presents an epistemological challenge Plato would have instantly recognized. Perhaps the most uncomfortable yet profoundly philosophical aspect of this comparison is the realization that Plato would likely not attribute our current societal challenges to the Internet's corrupting influence. Instead, he would argue that technology has merely revealed enduring facets of human nature. The internet acts as a powerful amplifier, not an inventor, of our inherent tendencies. The deep-seated human desires to be seen, to be heard, to be validated, and to belong have always existed. These are fundamental psychological drives that predate any digital interface. Technology, in this view, didn't create these instincts. It simply removed many of the traditional filters and gatekeepers that once mediated their expression. The internet, therefore, didn't make us inherently worse or fundamentally different. It simply provided an unprecedented platform for our existing human inclinations, both noble and ignoble, to manifest on a global scale. It stripped away the layers, exposing the raw dynamics of human interaction and belief formation. Given this profound diagnosis, what was Plato's proposed remedy? Was it a call for less speech, for authoritarian control over discourse? Quite the contrary. His solution was not about suppressing voices, but about cultivating the internal capacities necessary to navigate a world of diverse opinions. He argued for a societal structure that prioritized education before authority, wisdom before influence, and responsibility before power. A truly healthy and stable society, he believed, requires citizens equipped with robust intellectual and moral virtues. It demands individuals capable of rigorous self-questioning, resilient against emotional manipulation, and committed to valuing truth above fleeting comfort or popular consensus. In essence, Plato advocated for inner discipline, the cultivation of critical thinking, ethical reasoning, and a deep commitment to the pursuit of genuine knowledge, episteme, over mere belief, doxa. This internal fortitude is what allows individuals to discern wisdom amidst the clamor, and to contribute meaningfully to public discourse. Plato, of course, could not have envisioned the intricate global network we call the Internet. Yet, his philosophical insights into human nature, the dynamics of democracy, and the perils of unexamined opinion offer an astonishingly relevant framework for understanding our digital age. He predicted not the technology, but the profound human and societal challenges it would amplify. He foresaw what happens when everyone possesses a voice, but few cultivate the discipline to truly listen, and when wisdom becomes an optional pursuit rather than a societal imperative. So, as we navigate this complex digital landscape, the question isn't merely whether Plato was right in his diagnosis. The more pressing and perhaps more challenging question for us, as students, thinkers, and citizens of this interconnected world, is this: can we still cultivate and discern wisdom? Can we still truly listen in a world that never stops talking? This is an invitation to reflect, to discuss, and to actively shape a more thoughtful digital future.